It's been a while, and I'm sure you came back to a sellout crowd that could not wait to see you. Or not.
3,000 empty seats. That's the number no one expected to see on the night Angel Reese, one of the most polarizing and talked about players in women's basketball, finally made her big return to the Chicago Sky lineup. For weeks, the headlines were buzzing. When will Reese be back? What's really going on behind the scenes? And when the day finally came, it was supposed to be a celebration, a homecoming filled with energy, sellout crowds, and non-stop support. But instead, the cameras panned across Wintrust Arena, and what we saw was rows of empty chairs.
Only 6,724 fans showed up to the Wintrust Arena. Yeah, it holds about 9,500 fans, so we're talking roughly 3,000 fans away from being sold out to see the return of Angel Reese and the defeat of the Chicago Sky against the Storm.
A supposed triumphant return overshadowed by a brutal reality check. The Sky lost, the buzz fizzled, and suddenly the narrative around Angel Reese, the self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie, who's been compared to Michael Jordan in ambition, took a sharp turn. Because this wasn't just about one game. This was about momentum, perception, and the question nobody in Chicago wants to ask: is the hype around Angel Reese already starting to fade?
Yeah, that number's not a coincidence now, is it? 69%. 19.7 boards, of which only 3 were offensive rebounds. And just like clockwork, Angel comes back, Cardoso's numbers go down.
In today's breakdown, we're diving deep into everything that went down. We'll look at the numbers behind that disappointing turnout, the on-court performance Reese brought after her absence, and the ripple effect it's having on her teammates like Kamilla Cardoso. We'll also unpack why so many fans seem to be pulling away despite the marketing push around Reese, and whether her off-court ambitions, like launching her own sneaker line, are actually helping or hurting her brand right now. And of course, we'll ask the tough question: what happens to the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese herself if these empty seats become the new normal? But before we jump in, I want to hear from you. Do you think Angel Reese's popularity is declining, or is this just a temporary dip while she finds her rhythm again? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you care about holding players accountable, and don't forget to subscribe to Her Hoops for more no-filter WNBA breakdowns every single week.
We've got some good news. That's right, last night, the triumphant return of the product herself, Angel Reese, finally made her way back to the court. Funny, a lot of questions going on out there around Angel the last month or so. Like, what in the bleep is going on? Exactly, why aren't you playing in games? We heard it was a back injury.
Angel Reese's story is one of the most fascinating arcs we've seen in the WNBA in years. From her days at LSU, where she built the Bayou Barbie brand and became one of the most marketable athletes in college basketball, to the hype around her arrival in Chicago, Reese was positioned as a cornerstone for both the Sky and the league itself. She had endorsements, viral moments, even public comparisons to NBA legends in terms of her cultural reach. But here's the thing: the expectations on her shoulders were enormous from the jump. Chicago fans were promised a rebuild centered around Reese and Kamilla Cardoso, 2 rookie bigs who were supposed to dominate the paint, electrify the fan base, and put the Sky back into the national conversation. For a franchise that has struggled to consistently fill seats, this rookie duo was marketed as the attraction.
But we found out yesterday during the day that Angel was coming back, and I was like, wow, I can't wait for this. I mean, it's been a while since I first saw you. Yeah, I'm a big Stained fan. So we missed you. We missed you, Angel. You're back. You're roaring back, and I'm sure you came back and led the Chicago Sky to victory. Okay. No? Okay.
That's why her sudden absence shook the team. For weeks, questions piled up. Was it an injury? Was it disciplinary? Was something happening behind closed doors? The official word was back soreness. But even then, rumors swirled about locker room dynamics and coaching trust. When you vanish in the middle of a season that's already fighting for fan attention, speculation is inevitable.
Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you no longer, you never stood a chance, to be honest. with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realize your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realize it was done, you threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year.
So when the announcement dropped that Angel Reese was finally returning, it was supposed to be a turning point. The moment the Sky recaptured the spotlight, the hype was there, the stage was set, Chicago had their star back. But then the box score told a different story. 6,724 in attendance. In an arena that holds 9,500, that's over 3,000 fans missing from what should have been a marquee night. A 94-88 loss to the Seattle Storm only made it sting worse. And here's the kicker. Reese played well by the numbers. 19 points on 69% shooting, 7 rebounds. But even her strong stat line couldn't hide the fact that the buzz just wasn't there. The Chicago Sky weren't just battling the storm, they were battling apathy. Here's the blunt truth. The Chicago Sky and Angel Reese are dealing with a credibility problem. For months, Reese has been packaged as one of the WNBA's most marketable stars. She's been on magazine covers, featured in national ad campaigns, and has racked up NIL and sponsorship money that rivals even Caitlin Clark at times. The Sky built their season's narrative around her. The return of swagger, the promise of dominance, the big market star who could finally bring Chicago basketball back to relevance. But when your franchise cornerstone misses games with vague explanations, fans don't just get concerned, they get skeptical. Chicago fans bought into the hype, but when the moment finally came for the payoff, 3,000 of them decided it wasn't worth showing up. And that's brutal, because empty seats aren't just optics, they're revenue.
Has she trademarked that yet? Bricklayer Barbie? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, seriously. But, you know, I did hear that she expects to sell shoes in a way that Michael Jordan did. That's right. Angel Reese chasing Michael Jordan's shoe dream.
Atmosphere and momentum, and it doesn't stop at the fan base. On the court, Reese's presence shifts the entire team dynamic. Look at Kamilla Cardoso. The rookie center had been thriving with increased touches in Reese's absence. The minute Angel came back, Cardoso's production dipped. That's not just coincidence, that's role overlap, and it raises an uncomfortable question. Can the Sky actually maximize both of their rookie stars at the same time? Then there's the performance itself. Yes, Reese put up 19 points and 7 rebounds, shooting 9 of 13 from the floor. But context matters. Many of those buckets came on layups and inside finishes, the same kind of shots she's been criticized for missing in the past. And even with that improved efficiency, Chicago still lost. Angel's return didn't inspire a win, didn't draw a sellout crowd, and didn't stop the noise. So the core problem is this: the hype around Angel Reese is colliding with the reality of what's actually happening on the court and in the stands. This isn't just about one game. It's about whether she can live up to being the face of a franchise, and whether the Sky can survive if she can't. Here's why those 3,000 empty seats matter so much. It's not just a one-night blip, it's a warning sign. In the WNBA, perception is everything right now.
Angel's back, folks. She's so happy to be back. I'm glad to see, man, that layup game. That layup game's gotten tight now. I mean, she's come a long way. In all honesty, she has gotten better at shooting. I mean, I could lie to you and act like she hasn't. She has. She's gotten more selective on her shots.
The league is in growth mode, expanding its media rights, bringing in record sponsorships, and banking on star power to push women's basketball into a new era. For Chicago, one of the league's biggest markets, every home game is a test. And when your most marketable player finally returns, but you still can't even crack 7,000 fans in a 9,500-seat arena, it sends the wrong message to the league, to sponsors, and to casual fans watching the highlights on social media. Let's put it in perspective. When Caitlin Clark plays on the road, arenas sell out. Opposing teams are moving their games to bigger venues just to handle the demand. Angel Reese was supposed to be in that same category, a draw so big that casual fans showed up regardless of the opponent. Instead, her return night left glaring patches of empty blue seats. That contrast hurts. And it's not just about optics. Empty seats hit the franchise in the pocket. Lower ticket revenue, weaker concession sales, and less game day buzz mean less leverage when negotiating with sponsors. Chicago isn't just competing against other WNBA teams, they're competing against the Bulls, the Cubs, the Bears, a sports market flooded with options. If the Sky can't make Angel Reese's return feel like the event in town, then where does that leave them? The stakes get even higher when you think long-term. Reese has publicly talked about wanting to launch her own signature sneaker, comparing herself to Michael Jordan. But here's the reality. Jordan didn't just have talent. He had sellout crowds, championships, and cultural dominance. Shoe companies don't pour millions into players who can't guarantee packed arenas. If Reese can't translate her college buzz into consistent WNBA draw, then that shoe dream starts to look more like a punchline than a business plan. And let's not forget the locker room dynamic. Kamilla Cardoso has a bright future, but if she feels overshadowed or limited by Reese's presence, you risk tension that could split the very core the Sky are trying to build around. So the stakes couldn't be higher. If Reese doesn't live up to the hype, the Sky risk not just a losing season, but a lost identity. To really understand the pressure Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky are under, you have to look at the rivals they're being measured against. Take Caitlin Clark in Indiana. Love her or hate her, she's turned the Fever into a must-see event. Ticket sales? Through the roof. Road games? Near sellouts everywhere she goes. Media coverage? Non-stop. Clark's presence has fundamentally changed how opposing franchises budget and plan, because when the Fever come to town, the money follows. Or look at A'ja Wilson in Las Vegas. She's not just winning MVPs, she's headlining one of the league's most dominant dynasties. The Aces have transformed into a cultural touchstone, a team people have to watch. Then there's Sabrina Ionescu in New York, who's not only competing on the floor, but building a brand with Nike that's already resonating with younger fans. Against that backdrop, Angel Reese can't just be good. She has to be exceptional. She has to bring energy, charisma, and winning basketball every single night. The WNBA doesn't have the luxury of patience when it comes to marketable stars. If one doesn't deliver, the spotlight moves quickly to the next. So what are the options for Chicago? Option 1. Double down on Angel Reese. Invest in her brand, feature her in marketing, and hope that her game catches up to the hype fast enough to justify the attention. This is risky, because if fans already feel burned, doubling down could backfire. Option 2. Balance the narrative. Shift some of the spotlight toward Cardoso, Dana Evans, or Marina Mabrey. Highlight the team instead of putting everything on one player's shoulders. That approach could stabilize chemistry, but risks weakening the Reese-centric branding the Sky have leaned into. Option 3. Change the style of play. If Reese's game is best in the paint and Cardoso is also a post presence, then staggering their minutes, adjusting spacing, or even exploring small ball lineups could prevent overlap. That might not make highlight reels, but it could lead to more wins, and nothing fills seats like winning. And of course, there's the broader league option. If Reese struggles to be a draw in Chicago, could she eventually be more valuable as a trade piece to a team better suited for her style and brand? That's a controversial question, but one that lingers in the background whenever a franchise player fails to deliver the expected buzz. Bottom line, Reese is in a league where stars don't just play ball, they're responsible for carrying attendance, selling merchandise, and pushing narratives. Right now, her rivals are doing that better than she is. Here's where things get real. On paper, Angel Reese's return is supposed to energize the Chicago Sky. But inside the locker room, that story might look very different. Teammates are human. They see the headlines. They know who gets the camera time, who gets the press conferences, and who gets the Instagram followers. And right now, all of that revolves around Angel Reese, even when she doesn't play. For someone like Kamilla Cardoso, that can sting. Before Reese's return, Cardoso was starting to carve out her own rhythm, putting up big rebounding numbers and proving she could be a cornerstone piece. Then the moment Angel steps back on the court, Cardoso's minutes and touches dip. Think about that. You're working, grinding, finally finding your lane, and then suddenly you're back in the shadows. That's not just a stats problem, that's an identity problem. And you can feel it in the way the team plays. Are players forcing passes to Reese because they know she's the marketed star? Are they hesitating on open shots because they don't want to step on her role? That half second of doubt can be the difference between a made bucket and a missed opportunity. It's the classic tug of war between we and me. For Angel, this is about reclaiming her spotlight and proving she belongs. For her teammates, it's about not being reduced to background characters in the Angel Reese show. Option 1. The redemption arc. Reese locks in, her teammates buy into the system, and the Sky string together wins. The empty seats start filling back up, and suddenly, her comeback story becomes a feel-good headline. Chicago loves a winner, and winning cures everything. Option 2. The fracture. The chemistry doesn't click. Cardoso gets frustrated. The losses pile up, and the Sky slowly fade into irrelevance this season. Reese still gets headlines, storylines, but instead of being about her dominance, they're about dysfunction. That's how stars burn out fast in pro sports. Option 3. The business play. Even if the team doesn't improve much, Reese doubles down on her brand. She keeps pulling attention, racks up endorsements, and becomes more of a cultural icon than a basketball powerhouse. Think of it like a crossover move into celebrity status, where selling Angel ones matters more than selling tickets at Wintrust Arena. All three paths are wide open right now. The only question is, which one will Angel and the Sky choose? At the end of the day, Angel Reese's return should have been a celebration, a moment where the lights were bright, the fans were loud, and the Chicago sky felt unstoppable.
Now here's the big question for you. Is Angel Reese really the future superstar the WNBA is banking on, or is she becoming more of a headline than a hero? Drop your thoughts down below, because this isn't just about one player. It's about the future of the Chicago Sky, the league, and the balance between hype and production. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to Her Hoops, and turn on those notifications, because we'll be tracking every twist in this story all season long. Until next time, Hoop fans, stay locked in.